So this recently has been happening to me, and I just talked with a friend about it, and I can't believe that it's so common amongst gamers. So I want to share, and if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. You finish a day of work or school, it's been a really tough day. And so you need to fill up your cup, you need to recharge as soon as possible because work or school, it's coming tomorrow. There's no end in sight, right? If you're me, you boot up whatever multiplayer FPS game that is your hobby at the time. And you proceed to have one of the worst sessions of your life. Sometimes it's almost comical, right? You load in for like a 1 or 2 hour session, you get horrible teammates, the most insane like lag, desync issues, maybe quitters, maybe cheaters. I know you have had those nights where nothing goes your way. And you start rage queuing because you're like, I just need one more game. There's no way it's going to give me bad teammates again. There's no way I'm going to lose this next game. And before you know it, the 2 hours has gone by. You're really upset. You did the opposite of fill your cup. You got even angrier and more frustrated. And guess what? Work, school, it all starts the next day. If that cycle goes on for weeks and months, it is only going to make you more angry and frustrated. Now, here's the deal. I've got a whole video talking about why I think modern day multiplayer FPS games are not as good as the old ones. I'm not all about nostalgia, but there are so many things from the live service, FOMO, drip, modern gaming era that just stink. That's not what this video is about. More so, this scenario happens for a ton of people. And in the last 6 months, I've really rediscovered gaming in a way that does recharge and refill the cup. And a lot of it has come down to breaking away from the typical modern multiplayer FPS game. And it doesn't have to be FPS, it can be any modern multiplayer title or whatever. And it can really just be like any game that is a roll of the dice, whether or not you're gonna have fun or it's gonna be frustrating. For me, a lot of times that's chess. I'm around 1100 and some nights I literally will like rage queue and drop like 200 or 300 points, then feel miserable about myself at the end of the night. Here's the deal though, when your battery is running on empty, it's so critical for you to find things that refill your cup and recharge. And those don't always have to be gaming. One of the best ways to do that is working out. I continually go through this loop because I don't like going to the gym. I love riding bikes, snowboarding's fun, I love doing things outside. But anytime life gets really hard and stressful, usually the first thing I cut, which I shouldn't, is riding my bike or working out or just doing stuff because, I don't have time for that. I got to focus on work. I got to focus on these other things. I'll get back to it. And before you realize it, a month or two goes by and you do your first maybe workout back and you feel completely different. So like number one, obviously like working out is a super helpful thing. Trying different hobbies are great, but sticking with gaming, try different things. And I know I've talked about this a bunch on the channel, but it's so pertinent right now in my life because in the last 6 months, I've really been rediscovering a bunch of cool single player games, indie titles, things that I normally wouldn't play and are not really a risk. You see, when you're so drained, your battery is so dry, right? You start putting unfair pressure on yourself. You're trying to squeeze the lemon of your free time to get the maximum amount of juice possible. And I've told you before, and I really think everyone needs to hear this, be nicer to yourself. Stop putting that crazy free time pressure on you. Like, your day-to-day life is hard enough. And if you are spending all of it pouring obsessively into these hobby-style multiplayer games, which are designed to keep you addicted, to keep you playing, you're rolling the dice and probably going to end up feeling even more drained in the long run. Now, there's games, of course, in periods of time where I can separate it. Right? I understand anytime you play a multiplayer game, and a modern one, what you're getting into. Like, if I go boot up Halo Infinite Ranked, I know I'm rolling the dice as to if I'm going to get good teammates, if I'm going to have a laggy match, if there's going to be a cheater or not. And so I've learned over the years, when I'm really stressed out, maybe don't touch that game. Maybe don't hop in there and bang my head against the wall. Maybe it's time to go play Portal 2 or Mirror's Edge or try another Mass Effect run. Red Dead Redemption 2. These are almost in a way like books where you can put a little bit of time into them for months and months, and you don't have to finish one of these bigger games in a week or two. You can literally keep it as your comfort game to fill up that cup, to recharge. And I will say it's been something that's been so nice to sort of break out of the loop of being honestly trapped into just playing the one or two multiplayer style games when gaming as a whole has evolved so much. It's changed so dramatically just from 10 years ago to now. Some of the games that I've been playing lately to help recharge has been Metro Exodus, which I've been showing on the channel a bunch. People are regularly asking about it. If you're watching the video when it came out, go hop on the Steam sale. You can get like the whole Metro franchise for dirt cheap. Mass Effect 2. I've been going back through that game on the Legendary Edition, and wow, incredible. So chill, so fun. It is funny because it's one of my top 10 games of all time, and the last time I played it was, I don't know, a long time ago. And it's not, sometimes those experiences you don't want to touch. You want your memory of it to remain awesome, and it still is awesome, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm just blown away how much games have changed and evolved. Like playing Cyberpunk 2077 lately has just shown me from a graphics perspective and like storytelling and the presentation, it's insane how much things have changed. I've also gone way back, right? It doesn't have to break the bank to try different games. You know, oftentimes people are like, well, I don't have money, so I got to play the free-to-play titles. Well, I've gone back to like old 360 games, like dusted off the old VCR Xbox One just so I could play Skate 2. That's a game that was so awesome, and I feel like we don't get many games like that anymore. Riders Republic is kind of like that, which is cool, but games you purely just bought and played for fun. They were like session games. You would bring your friends over and just grind them for hours. Been playing this really cool title that Toastbomb recommended called, I think, Mini Shoot Adventures. It's like if Legend of Zelda and a bullet hell game had a baby. And it's super fun, and I'm bad at these like bullet hell games, but it's been really nice and different. And finally, right now I'm going through Portal 2 for the very first time. I played Portal 1 years ago, loved it, did Portal 2 co-op with my good buddy M. Vito, but I realized I never actually finished the main campaign for this game. Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2 are also like top 20 games for me of all time, easily top 10 FPS single-player games ever made. If you've never played Half-Life 2, stop what you're doing. Go play it. If you can play it on a PC, of course, but they've got it on so many like different collections for the older consoles, it's incredible. And Portal 2 is just straight up blowing my mind. The killer writing, the great level design. Source Engine games should not look this good so many years after they were made. And it is really nice because when times are tough, I'm not rolling the dice. I'm still booting up X Defiant and some Halo here and there, and I will tell you what, breaking out of that loop, when I do have the time and the choice to go play one of these multiplayer games, it is so much more fun because I feel like I've regained perspective. Doesn't mean you can't obsess and love and play those games all the time. If you're enjoying it, keep going. That's super rad. But if any of you are experiencing similar, I just wanted to throw out a personal story, like what the last sort of 6 months have been for me and why I think gaming is now so much more fun once again. Stop putting that pressure on yourself, on your free time. You gotta take care of yourself and you gotta do those check-ins. It's important to recharge. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll see you again in the next video.